Wow, 100 shows and 101,000 subscribers. How did all that happen?
And that's precisely what we're looking at today. Where we are, where we've been, and where we're heading.
Yeah, all the best electronica on EMBN 100. Hello and welcome to this week's EMBN Show. Welcome to our first ever weekly show on EMBN. I'm joined by Martin Ashton, Blake Sampson, Doddy. Big news this week. It gives us great pleasure to welcome a new member to the EMBN team. Chris Smith,
Sam Pilgrim,
Joel Anderson,
Georgia Leslie,
Jose Gonzalez,
it's Hans Ray,
Stickman, Trolley Designs.
Martin Murray in the studio.
It's a short break there, the cameraman's boozing. Camera.
So coming up this week on...
Sorry, I had my head down.
No way!
Lights on, mics on.
Right, it's time for Where in the World.
I mean, I love the bike roll, man. I want to come in for that as much as I can.
Come on,
And the beer. Here we go. Doddy.
Oh, sorry, Ned.
It was more like a log cabin when we left. Now it's more like Pasha nightclub in here. Before you know it, there'd be a bloody smoke machine here.
I like it. I like the way it's going. Yeah.
Well, that's an absolute blast from the past. 100 shows. I can't quite believe it. I mean, back at the start, it was just you and Neil. And now I'm here.
Are you here?
Just about.
But listen, what was your guys' favourite part of the last 100 episodes? Was it the tech? Was it the travel? Was it the bike vault? Or was it simply Georgia Leslie hoovering up a creme caramel? Let us know in the comments below.
So Steve, big news coming in from the Journal of Medical Internet Research. They've done a study all about e-bikes versus mountain bikes and how much of a workout you do actually get on an e-bike.
Chris, it's kind of old news really, and we know that e-bikes can be as much of a workout as a non-e-bike. Look, it's very sweet of them to do it, but it's something we already know, right?
I think it's good to have those figures, though,
Yeah,
right?
but something which is news, some genuine news, is this absolute monstrosity of a bike. It's not my cup of tea.
No? No. But look at all the tech, it's absolutely loaded. So this thing has a 14-speed roll-off hub built into it, which can be automatic or manual shifting, so it detects which gear you should be in, and it preempts that gear. It's got regen braking on it, so it means it's going to charge the battery up on those descents, so it's going to put a lot more charge in. It's got fly-by-wire controls from the unit to the battery, so you've got no wires connecting it. So you've got a sender and a receiving unit, so you've got no wires tangling it up.
Did you actually mention how much it weighs?
It does weigh quite a lot. I think it's
Right, okay. I think we should just
32 kilos.
Is that a mountain bike or is that a motorbike? I think probably more motorbike than mountain bike,
But
right?
even more tech, true. It's got adjustable suspension via the head unit.
Can we
so
talk
you
about
change
mountain
the
bikes?
shocks.
Look
No.
at this. Have you seen the new Mondraker?
This is one last thing, Steve. Wheelie mode. It's got wheelie mode built into it. So this bike can actually adjust the angle, which you can do a wheelie out. So it won't loop out at all. So it will come back down as soon as it reaches that point. So that's pretty cool, right?
Chris, it's a shopping bike for footballers. For
Looks
goodness
cool.
sake. Have you seen the new Mondraker
I
bike?
haven't seen it, I heard about it.
Absolutely amazing. They've got the new 4th gen Bosch motor in there.
Yeah.
Super lightweight. The top end bike comes in with a 625 watt-hour battery at less than 20 kilos. This is news. This is the news these guys want to hear. Not about shopping bikes.
So in other big news, we got our winner of our recent Park Tools giveaway for that huge tool chest.
The large chest.
Yes,
Now,
the
do you know,
big
when I
chest.
used to live in London, I used to go to these phone boxes and I used to see this large chest advertised everywhere.
Oh, and a little business card.
Took me years to work that out. Anyway, Park 2 winner this month is Magnus Landraheen, who, as I said, has won a large chest and not the one in the post box phone box.
Yeah, so look out for an email coming to you, getting all your contact details, and that big chest will be on its way.
Chest full of tools. Well, here we are, 100 shows later. What's changed in the last 2 years? Well, I think when it comes to the product itself, we've seen some big changes, no more so than in the motors. No longer are we looking at the big five of Bosch, Bose, Shimano, Yamaha, Panasonic. But what's quite striking is that when you go to a show such as Eurobike, you're now seeing a hall which is dedicated to e-bikes. And when you go there, you see like a whole host of motor brands from the Far East. And it can't be too long before we're seeing the big five being, there's going to be a new player in the market, I think, sometime in the future.
Yeah, definitely. When it kicked off, we saw Bosch were quite prevalent with their Bosch Performance Line CX motor, but they've moved on to their 4th generation Bosch motor already. It's looking really good. We saw Bros with the Mag S. We saw Fazua launch their system, super lightweight. And obviously got Shimano just around the corner of a potentially launch of their new motor that possibly could be compatible with their new gearbox. So exciting stuff for sure.
Yeah, I think the picture there that we're looking at, Chris, is the general direction is for lighter motors and possibly motors with higher torque. But it's not only that which is important. You're looking at something which you guys have asked for a few years now, which is the combination of a motor and a gearbox in one. And we actually saw this out in Eurobike this year from 2 brands, one from France and one from, was it Norway or Sweden, Brandon? It was the brand called Revonte, which came out with that combined motor and gearbox in one. And surely that's going to be the direction, because I know that there's big brands actually already talking to them, so it can't be too long, right?
So where have we been and where are we going when it comes to batteries? Now, when we first kicked off on the channel, we saw a lot of bike manufacturers going for the externally mounted batteries. But what we're seeing now a lot these days are manufacturers that are going for the internal look, making it a lot sleeker, bigger capacity, and more miles.
Yeah, absolutely, and it can be quite simple as well. If you have a look at the Grape battery, it can be dismounted in what, like 2 seconds?
2 seconds, pretty slick.
It's super compact. I think it's 700 watt hours, and it's probably one of the smallest batteries in the market. You can chuck a load of them in your backpack.
Big day out.
Yeah, but it's not just the products, it's also the places and the events which we've seen expand and change over the years. Now, obviously the Tour Mont Blanc is well documented, but things such as the festivals. You've been to Tweedlove, I've been to Verbier E-Bike Festival, and also the big news for 2020 is the new EWS E-Bike series, which is pretty big news, right?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. And something else I'm looking forward to, Steve, is seeing all this access law getting changed. We've seen a lot of the world come with shut doors, but now they're opening those doors to e-bike love all around the world.
You didn't say that a minute ago. You said the world opening its arms to e-bikes.
Exactly.
Okay, that's all very nice, but what about the brands? We've seen a lot of changes from the brands. Brands such as Fazua coming out with a different philosophy when it comes to motors, going for a lightweight bike which you can actually transform into a non-e-bike.
So that's the E-Zesty?
The E-Zesty. We've seen High Bike, we've seen Bianchi come out with those systems which are quite futuristic in their design in terms of the integrated lights and what have you.
Yeah, I think Levo.
The Levo obviously is quite a benchmark, making the new Levo, which is sub 20 kilograms. I mean, where are we going to be going? I mean, obviously the new Mondrakers, which you saw earlier on in the show, are now coming out at 19 kilos. I reckon in the future, and I reckon in the next 2 to 3 months, we will be seeing a 16 to 17 kilo e-bike.
Really?
I reckon, 100%.
I think Grape is one of those companies as well, super exciting. All the tech that they're bringing to e-bikes is super exciting. The G6 that we rode out in Croatia, that thing was absolutely loaded with tech, wasn't it?
Absolutely. But what about the brands? I mean, in the last 100 episodes of EMBN, have we seen many new brands? Not really that many. I mean, YT is probably the biggest player, which has come to the e-bike market. I've heard through some gossip, maybe we're going to be seeing Santa Cruz come out with an e-bike in the not too distant future.
Really?
It's gossip, but I mean, it's going to happen, right?
Yeah,
but what about Yeti? Are Yeti going to make an e-bike?
Yeti in transition, about the main players that I don't think have got an e-bike in their lineup. But one thing that definitely has changed is the acceptance, I think, out on the trails. Now, I think when we first came to riding e-bikes on the trails a few years back, it was like, oh my God, there's an e-bike. But now it's pretty commonplace, right?
Absolutely, and it depends on the country you're in.
Yeah.
Maybe the English-speaking countries are still a little bit behind, but when you go to France, Italy, Germany,
they're everywhere.
It's everywhere. It's great. Well, a very special week on EMBN this week. We had the pleasure of riding with a world champion in road, in marathon, in cyclocross, and also in cross-country mountain bike. Pauline Ferrand-Prévot of the Canyon SRAM team in a head-to-head between me and Chris in the centre of France. That's coming out on Sunday.
Yeah, super interesting video, that one. But on Friday, we've got mudguard versus no mudguard. Should you ride with a mudguard in winter, or doesn't it even matter? Check that one out on Friday.
It's a right dirty old video, that one, mind. Now, Chris, I want to pick you up on something you said a minute ago about trail access, especially in North America. Now, we had a guest in recently, Eduardo from the Andes Pacifico, and we talked about trail access in Chile and in the Santiago area. This is what he had to say. Hey, so listen, I want to talk to you about the e-mountain bike scene in Chile. Now, obviously, it's probably, I'm guessing, it's going to be slightly behind, as is the UK and America, compared to, say, Germany, Italy, and France, right? What's the scene like down in Chile?
Well, the last few years, probably the last 3-4 years, been growing and growing. You see on a ride, you see 15, 20 e-bikes that pass you right on the uphill.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, you see many.
Yeah.
And you can tell there's new people on the mountain biking scene.
Which is a good thing, right?
It's a good thing. I mean, I think that's one of it's more inclusive for everyone.
Yeah.
And so you see a lot on a normal basis ride that you do on a weekend.
Yeah.
Then on the races, we also, besides Andes Pacifico, we do the National Championship of Enduro.
Which is called?
The Mountain Bike Enduro.
So mountain bike. B-A-I-K.
Yes. And it's mountain as you mount in Spanish. So so the Mountain Bike Enduro has 7 rounds all across Chile. And on each round we have a e-bike category.
And you get 50 riders?
Yeah, between 50, 60 riders.
Wow.
So it's quite good. But it's kind of difficult because we set the race at the most difficult time of transfer that they do the other guys. So in some races, it's very tight for the guys.
Yeah.
On other races, it's very relaxed.
Yeah.
Some other races, they run out of battery. So it's still very complicated to set up a racing format for the enduro.
It is super complicated. Obviously, trail access varies in all parts of the world for mountain biking. In the UK, it's a bit different. It's a little bit more restrictive than it is, say, in other countries. So what is the status in Chile? Where can you ride an e-mountain bike in Chile?
Until now, there doesn't exist any banned single tracks. So you can ride anywhere on any bike.
So hold on, what you're telling me is you've got the perfect climate, you've got unlimited access.
Yes. It's good.
I'm jealous.
It's really good.
I'm jealous. On trails which go back to the Incas. I mean, when were the Incas around?
Yeah, well, exactly. They started up north in our friends of Peru, and they came down to Chile. It was one of the biggest ancient civilizations.
So Eduardo, for the viewers out here, what is the best time to go down and visit Chile? I mean, can you actually go and rent e-bikes in Chile?
Not yet. You can rent normal bikes.
Okay, right.
But not.
But this is the EMBN Show, Eduardo.
I know,
People want to go to Chile to rent e-mountain bikes. It's coming,
really
though, right?
soon. It's coming. It's coming. A lot of brands are getting together bikes over there, and probably we will see a good scene for e-mountain biking there.
Cool. Eduardo, I'm going to ignore the resume, which he's very kindly put together in there. But I think we covered all the points. Eduardo, thanks for coming in all the way from Santiago in South America. Looking forward to coming out there sometime soon.
We've got an absolutely epic climb this week.
Is it epic?
Yeah, it is absolutely epic. This is
absolutely
crazy.
epic.
Check it out. This is Reno. He's out in Switzerland on a huge granite slab. Now this, I think, is steeper than the slab we climbed.
I think this is possibly one of the best climbs I've ever seen handed into the channel. Yeah. This is next level.
Spider-Man stuff.
This is, Reno, I can't thank you enough for sending this truly inspirational piece of content into the channel. Brilliant. Right, it's time to see what you guys have been doing around the world. And I think a common theme which we're seeing with e-mountain bikes, Chris, is that one e-bike is not enough. I'm seeing like parent and child having e-bikes. I'm seeing couples having e-bikes because it's unfair that one person should have all the fun.
Definitely, I think when it comes to kids, the kids definitely need to be on e-bikes too.
Yeah.
And if you're out with your missus, she needs that e-power as well, right?
Talking about out with the missus, this is from Dave and Jill, who are out in Grindelwald in Switzerland. Is it on the border? Anyway, what an amazing shot.
That is cool, isn't it?
Isn't that not what e-mountain bikes is all about, Chris?
Oh, look at that lake as well.
Yeah, brace of levos. And then Andy Plaskett and his daughter Neve, or is that Nev? That's Neve out in Llandegla. Look at that Merida. It's great, isn't it?
It's good to see such young people on e-bikes
yeah,
as well.
Having a great time. Thanks, guys, for sending those photographs in, and continue to Please send in your images from whatever part of the world you are. It's, I think it's really inspirational stuff.
Yeah, it's super easy to do. If you want to get featured on the show, use the upload service. The details of that are up on screen now.
Well, the 100th Bike Vault is full of worldwide free ride, Chris.
Worldwide free ride.
Absolutely. First of all, Daryl at Foyle in North Wales on his Levo en route to Coed Brennan to ride the Beast. Nice. Followed up by Andrew on his Overvolt in Leeds Urban Bike Park. You've been there, right?
I have been there. Next up, we've got Andy in Barmouth. Cader Idris in the background.
Cader Idris.
Is he the first?
It's all about the pronunciation, isn't it, really?
Is he the first?
Is he the first? Is he the first to actually get up Cader Idris on an e-bike?
Oh, right.
Is he a poet or is he a madman? That's the tale.
Lucas.
I like this shot, Chris.
Yeah, he's out in Canberra in Australia with his Waltworks Custom 36 with a Bafang motor, Eagle Access and Hope brakes.
That's a cool shot. I mean, that's like a custom-made e-mountain bike. It's great to see stuff like that. Meanwhile, out in Brasov in Romania, this is Barca with his Canevo. Followed up by Gerardo in Chile riding 1,600 meters up in the Andes on his Canevo Expert 2.
Whoa, big day out. Next up is Pavel in Slovakia on his Levo.
Yeah, and now Mark on his high bike in Northern California. And then Adnan, now this is a pretty epic shot, on his Hard Cross 9 Husqvarna in Croatia. I mean, how beautiful is that?
That looks amazing.
Absolutely.
Next up as well, we've got Adrian using his Habits for some rehab for pain and depression out in northern Germany. And last one in the Bike Vault this series is Jean-Marc in Quebec on his 2020 Trans. Look at that.
Yeah, I think they all deserve a nice...
nice?
I think they all deserve actually a super nice in this 100th edition of EMBN. However, when it comes to the podium, that's a different story. I think in third place has to be Lucas in Canberra with his custom-made Waltworks.
It's a cool shot. Second place.
Go on, you say it.
Gerardo in Chile riding 1,600 meters up in the Andes on his Canevo Expert.
Hot and dusty.
Nice.
But the podium winner of the Bike of the Week in the 100th Bike Vault has to be Adnan and his Husqvarna Hard Cross 9 out in Croatia. Adnan, great shot. Nice. Really, really great shot. So that's it from EMBN 100. Let us know what you guys like to see on the channel, whether it's travel, tech, or visitors.
Definitely, but if you want to stick around and check out another video, check out Getting Out There in the Night, our guide to night lights. That one's playing down here.
Or that epic challenge in the Surrey Hills with Brennan Fairclough, Ollie Wilkins and Bernard Kerr. Just a bit of mucking about. And I mean, after all, that's what e-bikes is about. It's about fun, right?
And a bit of lying down in bogs, right?
God, things have changed since the first episode of the show.
Yeah.
All a little bit serious.
Don't forget to subscribe to EMBN as well by clicking the globe in the middle. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And we shall see you in the 101st show next week even.